Welcome to this store. You join us here and we're in Trinity Square, and the gardens here just by Tower Hill, and behind me is Trinity House, and that's what we're going to be chatting about today. Now, Trinity House is where lighthouses have been run from for centuries, and so today here is their story. Welcome to London. It was on 19th of March 1513 by a guild from Deptford-based mariners that the charter was petitioned and put forward. These mariners were troubled by the very poor conduct and the unregulated pilots on the Thames at the time. They asked the king to regulate these pilots. The first master was a chap called Thomas Spurt. He later became Sir Thomas, and he was one of the sailing masters to Henry VIII's flagship, the Mary Rose. Now, the name of the guild itself derives from Holy Trinity and St Clement's, and he was the patron saint of mariners. So it was in 1566 that Elizabeth I passed the Sea Marks Act, and that enabled Trinity House to become fully operational. And the Act says, at their wills and pleasures, and at their cost, to make, erect and set up such and so many beacons, marks and signs for the sea. Well, that's what they did. They set up beacons along the sea, and then eventually they became lighthouses. Now, over the years, the increasing number of ships lost particularly on the Newcastle to London coal route, the Trinity House established the Lowestoft Lighthouse way back in 1609 as a pair of wooden towers with candle illuminations. Trinity House took over the management of all public buoys and lighthouses in the kingdom back in 1594, and they took over from the Lord High Admiral. It was during the First World War that the Trinity Corporation served a number of important functions. They made sure that shipping lanes were navigable and operational. They moved light vessels and light bar vessels, and they laid hundreds of buoys to aid ships along shipping channels. During the Second World War, Trinity House kept sea lanes marked, and they lighted for Allied convoys. The pilot service guided ships to their ports under the hazardous conditions, and at the time of the Dunkirk evacuations, a number of pilots helped bring soldiers and aircrew back from the beaches at Dunkirk. Sadly, on the night of the 29th of December 1940, Trinity House itself was destroyed by a severe attack on London. The interiors were completely destroyed and gutted, and many of the archives and treasures were indeed lost. The house was restored, and it was reopened in 1953, in October 1953. It was opened by the late Queen Elizabeth II. Trinity House also had preparations for D-Day landings on the 6th of June 1944. They laid 73 light buoys and 2 light vessels to indicate safe routes for landing craft. And Trinity pilots were also responsible for commercial vessels involved in many of the servicing of the D-Day landings and the following days. In the month following D-Day, nearly 3,000 vessels were handled by 88 river pilots, and I think it was about 2,000 ships by 115 sea pilots working 24 hours a day. These days, Trinity House has 3 important functions. They're the General Lighthouse Authority for England, Wales, the Channel Islands and Gibraltar, and they are responsible for a range of navigational aids, signs of the sea, from lighthouses to radar beacons. They're a charitable organisation dedicated to safety, welfare and training of mariners. And it's also the Deep Sea Pilotage Authority, and they licence expert navigators to act as deep sea pilots for ships in the northern European waters. The corporation also keeps up inspections on the life buoys and buoys provided by local harbour authorities. But they no longer provide local pilots for entering ports. And Trinity House, contrary to popular belief, has never been part of the Coast Guards. But it does work closely with them and the Maritime and Coast Guard agencies. So Trinity House is now financed by light dues. So any commercial ship travelling around the country, they pay their light dues, and that goes to Trinity House to maintain all of the lighthouses. Now at the moment I believe they run 65 around the country and in Gibraltar and on the Channel Islands. And I do believe their last manned lighthouse was back in 1998, and I've got it written down here, and that was North Foreland, and that was in Kent, and that was the last one to go to automatic operation. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. We do hope you enjoy these videos, and if you do, please subscribe and tell your friends and tell your enemies if you want to. We don't mind whoever watches these videos. And if you want to see what we do outside of them, please go to hishlord.co.uk, see about the walking tour of London, or have a look for Last Line Films. That's James's YouTube and TikTok channels. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Take care.